Sure. All right, y'all. I think y'all know what time it is. So what is this? Episode 3?
Right.
Talk. Yep. So this is Bo. I'm Jamone. And we're back again. I think this is week 5, but for the Raiders, we're looking at a bye week, so we're just chilling, smiling. I think I'm gonna take a moment of silence to just bask in what was an excellent last couple of weeks for the Raiders.
Excellent.
Because I didn't see it coming,
It was fantastic, really.
Because we talked about the Colts and what was a must win.
I was down that week, yeah.
Yeah.
That was
because going into the Bears, it was looking like if we didn't win against the Colts, we were going to take an automatic L in London and then be going towards the bye week.
I told y'all. I mean, I don't like saying I told you so I'm not. But I mean, if we were 2-3 right now, this week would just feel incredible. But 3-2,
I can live with that.
Smile.
Yeah, no. I can definitely live with that. So we are looking nice going into the bye week. Coming out of it, though, what do we have? So we're going to be playing the Packers after that.
I just don't like when the Raiders play. Well, I just Aaron Rodgers.
Look. We don't want
quarterback.
We don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. So let's just go with what we had scripted because we go on Aaron Rodgers. He's a bad man, quoting Stephen A. Smith. But all right. So with the win over the Bears, I think the first thing that needs to be talked about is the O-line. Because what did we say?
I said that was the key. They had to go out and have the game of their lives. The game as a full unit.
Who did we need to stop?
Well, there were 10 other Bears that are ferocious, plus Khalil Mack.
Yeah, that guy.
The guy
that we had, Khalil. We gave up no sacks to that Bears defense.
0 sacks. That was the key. And it was a close game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it wasn't, but it was. But, score-wise, it was. And we got 0 sacks.
Mm-hmm. When it came down to it, we started off on fire, and I honestly did not see us scoring those touchdowns like that, just back.
Well, all you that watched that game, I noticed the Bears came out flat and they made the mistake going to London late in the week. You can't do that. It's just go there for the full week. I'm just letting all the other NFL coaches know that if you think that you can just walk up in London 2 days before the game and just come out there with a W, It's shown. It's shown in history now. You can't do that. Go there, put the full week in, let people's bodies. These are big men, and their bodies need to adapt.
Flying
across. Things change too. It's not just like food. It's a small culture shock. Let their bodies, by the time it's 3rd or 4th day, you're kind of like, okay, I know where I'm waking up. I know what I like to order to eat. I know where I can go get this, so they got acclimated. And that Bears D, man.
That Bears D was not looking the same way that it has the previous weeks. And you want to talk about our defense actually came through. Our D, we had 4 sacks, 1 interception.
I mean,
when have we seen a game like that from the Raiders?
Yeah. See, the sacks. Everyone talks about sacks, and I know we crave sacks.
People love sacks.
The thing that I always look for with the Raiders are interceptions. That's big for me because the last few years we just don't get picks. We don't get picks.
We don't get turnovers. Right?
We really don't. We don't get turnovers. That's the bigger thing. And so to have a pick, that's huge. Even though it was kind of a garbage time,
but it sealed the game.
It was a seal of a game pick. So I mean, I'm happy with that. I feel like that's kind of what we need. Going forward. So, but the sacks too, man. Shout out Hurst. Shout out Hurst. He's looking like he's finally going to be that steal of a draft.
Mayoa had another one, didn't he?
Mayoa had another one. So he's leading the team with 4.5 now, I believe.
And then the young rookie.
Or 5.5.
I think it was 5.5.
Yeah, I think it might be 5.5 now for Mayoa.
And then who was that young rookie, the white dude?
On offense?
No, on defense.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mad Max.
Mad Max
Sorry,
Crosby.
Mad Max.
Thank you.
Crosby.
It's my name. Max Crosby. That was the guy that you were high on.
Yes, I love Mad Max.
Tell him some more about Max.
Well,
you might have to tell him.
Went to a small school in college, and he's got that motor.
Dude, that's exactly
he's got the motor like Jared Allen. A lot of people say though he has the raw skill set to maybe someday be a Jared Allen, but hold your horses. The guy's got to gain probably 30 or 40 pounds. And with that gain, can he keep his speed? Because some guys can, some guys cannot. So it's kind of a wait and see approach, but you can already tell he's getting production straight from his motor.
Yeah, it's like he's always giving max effort. Max Crosby is giving max effort. But that's the kind of thing that we need from our defense.
Let me say this. We haven't had someone with a motor like that on defense since Khalil Mack.
That's true. Not saying he is Khalil Mack. But.
No, but, motor. That's huge for any defensive player because it's kind of like defense in the NBA, right?
Draymond.
People will tell you it's 100% effort. Mm-hmm. Well, in football, rushing the passer, it's how much motor can you have to do this over and over and over again and not take a play off. Mm-hmm. So, man, Mad Max was huge. But that O-line, which there's just so much. Yeah. It's just so exciting to talk about. We can
circle back to that because you want to know what else the O-line did? They provided us with a stout run game.
Woo! We ran it through their throats. Oh my goodness, all day long.
And not just with one guy.
No, not just with one guy. The whole collective group had a great day. And I said this prior to. I said their run defense, they want to stop the run. Well, guess what? I want to run on you. Mm-hmm. Because when we started running on them, guess what? Then we were able to then Derek Carr was able to do the Carr managing. He was able to get those throws to Foster. He was able to get some throws down the field. Renfro made one catch in the game that was a huge first down for us toward the end of the game. So it really was huge. That O-line basically won us the game in a variety of different ways. It really allowed us to open up that entire game. So could they have had a better game?
Of course.
I don't think the O-line could have had a better game. I don't think we could have done a better job. Carr, I think, got knocked down once.
Yeah. They
by Khalil Mack once.
And look, when you look at that game, we had 25 first downs. 25. We moved the rock. Yeah, we had the ball the majority of the game. We had 398 total yards to their 236, 71 total plays to their 51. So that's game management right there. We only had 229 passing yards, but 169 rush.
169
just from stats for yourself. So I'm looking at that game, and it looks like we are turning into a running team first.
And that's what Gruden wants to do. Mm-hmm. That's what Gruden wants to do.
That physical ground and pound game.
Why do you think you have a fullback on your team? There's no need for a fullback on your team if you're not gonna line up in high formation here and there, then you shouldn't have a fullback.
You got three tight ends,
in my opinion. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So he wasn't lying when he said he was trying to bring it back. Like Gruden's really trying to bring it back, bring the time back, and it can work. And it can work with Carr. Mm-hmm. I think this offense actually is going to start fitting Carr. And like I said, I no excuses for Carr from me this year. So I still need to continue to see him make those throws. But I really liked what I saw. The O-line allowed him to be the best version of himself.
That's what is so key. We don't need Derek Carr to be Tom Brady, really,
because he never will be.
Nah.
Or Aaron Rodgers. Never.
No. And especially with a guy like Josh Jacobs, who is clearly our best offensive player.
He might be the best player on our team.
Yeah. Yeah. I would definitely.
I'll tell you this. Let me ask you this then. If Josh Jacobs isn't in a game for us, do we really have a chance of winning?
No.
So there you go. MVP of our team right there.
Yeah. Yeah. And you talk about a guy who is a rough rider, because there was a pivotal moment in that game during the Bears where he came out, he had a little
Khalil Mack tackled him on his nice game with the spin at the end. That was nice.
Going towards the sideline. And he came out with an apparent like elbow injury or something like that.
Elbow, I don't know.
At that juncture, I was worried because if he didn't come back in, we weren't winning that game.
That's probably no.
We weren't winning that game.
No, there's no way.
How many yards did he have? He came back and still
120.
Yeah. Against the Bears.
Yeah. So that lets you know how skilled Josh Jacobs is. Give him the dang ball.
Yeah.
Like if you can run on the Bears, then you can run on any team if you're doing it correctly. So I mean, geez, just and I don't know if any of you guys noticed this. Please let us know. But a lot of pitches and tosses. And I like this. I saw for the first time a really great range of running plays. Like there was not just, we had a pitch, we had some tosses. We had those, I don't even know what it's called. We had the toss where you actually toss it and he's running up the middle.
Well, that one they botched, remember?
I mean, but it was just, I liked how Gruden was dialing up those run plays. It wasn't just,
a straight
power,
stretch,
stretch, power. Like, so that was exciting to see. And I don't know who it was, but that was some wizardry.
Well, it's finally a moment where I can say, all right, maybe this guy John can coach. Because that's what I am looking for. Maybe. All right, yeah. Look, we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but
can he continue to play like it's 30 years ago? Is my question. Can we really be a dominant force in the league with a fullback and a run-first approach in what today's football is all about, spreading the offense out and scoring 40 points a game? So my question is, to do that, your defense has to be capable, right? Enough to get some stops. And I guess it's going to really be about controlling the time, right? Controlling the time, not giving the ball back to the other team, really going slow, methodical drives down the field.
That's where the game always lies, is how much time you have the ball and how much time your defense spends on the field. But
let me ask you something.
What's up?
We might be having Gabe Jackson come back.
Gabe's down. Look, if Gabe Jackson comes back, our run game should be even that much better.
Because Gabe Jackson, and this is off the top of my head, I believe he's a better rated run blocker than he is a pass blocker. And he's a capable pass blocker, but he is a run blocker like Incognito is. So, man, I don't know what it would feel like to be Josh Jacobs to line up behind monsters like Incognito and Gabe Jackson. I would be like, man, send me down the middle. And Rodney Hudson, let me run that rock right down the middle all day, baby. All day. Those dudes are huge.
Right. Okay, so let's move on and tell them something that they might not know. So we had a new addition, and then we also had a subtraction on the roster. So we no longer have J.J. Nelson, the speedster, okay? And you might not even know who that is. No, I'm serious, because he hasn't been on the field yet. Yeah. That's why John Gruden dropped him. He really has no tolerance for guys who aren't available. With that being said, we picked up Zay Jones. Now, tell them something about Zay Jones.
All right, so just a little brief history. The college he went to, he broke some records as a receiver. He was pretty highly touted from none other Mike Mayock. I believe he thought he had him at like 2 or 3 on his board of receivers for that 2017 draft class. And Zay got drafted 2nd round, pick 5, which would put him pick 37 for the entire draft by the Buffalo Bills. And we're going to probably mention, by the way, we're probably going to mention some NBA later. Stay tuned, though.
Yes, sir.
It's Zay got drafted to an awful team. And that'll be kind of maybe a connection we talk about later in the NBA. But what I'm trying to refer to with Zay is he really hasn't had a shot to use his attributes the right way. And so right now, I believe we traded a fifth round pick in 2021 for him. So basically for free, a flyer. But this is Zay Jones' time.
This is his moment. Especially we know he's going to get looks. We know he's going to get targets. He's going to be utilized. So
he's supposed to have sticky hands.
We need those.
He should be a route runner. I'm not gonna I don't want to hate on Amari Cooper, but Zay Jones could be equivalent to Amari Cooper in our offense, at least. He's balling out in Dallas. Respect for Amari, but I think Zay can have respectable speed, great route running, and awesome hands. And if he has that, he can play that position, and we can now finally allow Tyrell Williams to go ahead and get down the field on those, just go straight down the field.
On those vertical routes.
The vertical routes. That's what he needs. So Zay's gonna. I don't know how much he's gonna be included in the Packers game yet. I don't know how much offense he'll pick up. He'll probably have a package set for Zay to be on the field. But watch out for him in the coming weeks. That's gonna be huge.
Yeah, man. And you already said it. So let's talk about the upcoming schedule, because we've already talked about Derek Carr and the way that he manages the game.
Well, but let me say something real quick.
Go ahead, man.
AJ Green.
AJ Green. So we're talking about rumors now and what we would possibly like to see, because we've talked about, Odell Beckham, and now the Browns are trash. Maybe they may be trying to flip him already. And
that just sounds nonsense.
Right. We've talked about, there was another receiver too that we
Diggs. But
right.
I would personally hate to see a first round pick though for him.
But AJ Green is intriguing. We know that he hasn't seen any field time yet. He's close. But that type of receiver looks like the perfect fit for the Raiders offense.
Perfect.
We're just speculating. This is nothing that we know, but
here's the thing. The Bengals are 0-30. I'm sorry. 0-5. Awful team. Mm-hmm. First year coach Zach Taylor or whatever is doing a horrible job. Andy Dalton is probably his last year as a Bengal, I'm assuming. That offensive line is atrocious. The Bengals are probably looking at a full rebuild, and you're not going to rebuild off of a 32-year-old elite wide receiver that's, probably his best days are behind him, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean he could still be a number one for us. Yeah. In our offense, we don't need him to have 13 targets and 11 catches a game. He just needs to have those clutch catches.
Like how Michael Crabtree used to be for us.
Exactly.
For the Raiders, I mean.
No, I'm not saying I'd like to trade a first round, but I would like a phone call. Phone a friend, like, hey, what's up with them? Is it a second round? Is it a third round? Could I trade a second and a third? Could I trade a third and a fifth?
Could I trade a second and a fourth?
I think that's the only other player now that we could add to our receiving core. And I know a lot of people think maybe our receiving core is okay. I'm still nervous about it. We really don't have anyone, a household name yet. And that's okay. Maybe people are going to
sleep on us because of that.
Yeah, and maybe some of these guys are going to create names for themselves. And that's how sports works. But if I could get AJ Green to bolster this receiving core, it'd be awesome. It'd be awesome for the for that unit in the locker room too.
Yeah, because we don't have the depth there. That's why we have three tight ends going at it.
So that's all I wanted to say in terms. If AJ Green's out there, man, all of y'all should really just be interested and see if there's a way that we could get him, because if there is, man, I'm telling you, he'd be the perfect receiver for Carr as hands, well. Oh, man. So
and it's like I hate to bring up this guy's name, but you talk about how different AB and AJ Green are.
They're two completely different.
I don't even know what AJ Green's voice sounds like. Like, the guy just suits up and plays football. That's the kind of character that we need on our team, even though he is injured. But I'm just saying.
So keep a lookout for it. Just listen to news, see if it's, it may never happen, but that's just one thing that I'd like to add, man, because he'd be a bad man on our team.
Bad man. So let's talk about what we got coming up, because I think with all that being said, the Raiders are what now, 3-2?
Yep, 3-2.
Coming up, we've got the Packers, Texans, Lions, Chargers, Bengals, Jets, Chiefs, Titans, Jags, Chargers, and the Broncos. That's to finish out the season. Now, coming up, Packers and Texans. Those are two tough teams.
Man.
What would be a good outcome? Like going
2 wins?
That's ideal, but
2 wins. I mean,
really, I think that just like we said a couple weeks before, if we can get one of these games,
yes,
if we can get just one, and then
realistically, 1 is awesome.
Right. You don't want to sleep on the Lions because they are a decent team too, but I think that we could sneak up on them and beat them. Then
that'll be our first game back home.
Right.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, but then you got Chargers, the Bengals, the Jets. Those are kind of 3 games
Bengals, Jets.
You have to have those 2.
Those 2 are you have to have put W's by those.
I'm gonna just write it because
if those aren't W's, then you have already given away the chance of the playoffs. Because what we're doing this, and we're really, all of us really want to see the Raiders get in the playoffs to give Oakland, a nice,
send off.
I know that's all what we're thinking. So you've got no chance if you lose those. So if you put wins on that, give us a win against one of those teams, the Texans or the Packers. I don't care which one it is, but that's 1 win.
And you were saying specifically, hopefully the Packers, the Texans, because that's an AFC team, and that could have playoff implications.
I'll tell you something else. Give us a win against the Titans. They're good. They're an okay team actually now. But give us a win against the Titans. Give us a win against the Jags.
Yes.
Give us a win against the Broncos.
Again.
That's 5 wins right there that I've got. 6 wins. That gives us 6 wins. That's 9 wins. That means we need to get a win against either the Chargers, the Chiefs, or the Chargers. We have to beat the Chargers
one of the 2 times. Yeah.
And we get to 10 wins.
Disgusting. That would be
just like that. So what I'm saying is you got to have an automatic against the Bengals and Jets, an automatic against the Titans and the Jags. Okay? Then you got to have a split in one of these games. You got to win against the Packers or the Texans, preferably the Texans. There's 5. And then you got to win 1 against the Chargers.
It seems feasible. Now, in other words, talking like I'm not so Raven and we can see into the future. We don't know what's going to happen. But just projecting, brother, like we weren't even talking about beating the Bears. So now I think we can go into this with a little bit more optimism. Not over optimism, but these are some of the games that we have to have.
Here's what I'm saying right here, okay? And this is me talking.
What you gonna say?
Optimistically. Having a bye week right now, while the Packers are, fighting it out there, Gruden does have 2 full weeks.
That's a good point.
Gruden's not taking time off. He gave his his players a week off, but Gruden is literally watching film. And you know what game he's going to be watching. He'll be watching that Packers game this week. I'm going to tell you this. Gruden loves to script plays. So I'm going to tell you something. He's going to have scripted plays that can work against this Packers defense. It's just a matter of is going to be executed properly. It's going to be crazy to go into Lambeau, but I could see this young team maybe doing something a little crazy and trying to sneak out with a W here.
Surprise and something.
Okay, because you're not going to play a defense as stout as the Bears all year. All right.
We don't play the Patriots.
And nope. And the Packers have a really great defense this year, but they slowly started letting up now. Okay. And you know where they're weak at?
It must be
the run game. You know where we're strong at? The run game. They haven't faced
who?
They did faced Dallas, and I think they creamed them. And that might be one team where, fullback with Zeke. But I don't think they faced a team like us with an O-line like this and go through their throats. I think that this could get picked up. Now, it's a lot of time for Gruden to script. So that is our biggest advantage of this game is Gruden's got all the time in the world. He could have a whole game scripted out. First drive, second drive, third drive, fourth drive. He could have literally the whole game scripted. It could be crazy.
This is also, I just thought of something too. With these next two games coming up, this is going to be, you remember how we said these are going to be big games, or the Bears was going to be a big game for the O-line? This is going to be these two games are going to be big games for the defense, because we are going to be playing elite QBs.
Two elite QBs.
Since Patrick Mahomes crushed us in the second half. But of week 2, I think that was. So, facing Aaron Rodgers and then Deshaun Watson.
So, the only way we beat the Texans, you got to get to Deshaun. He's been sacked a ton. If you don't get to Deshaun Watson, this game's going to be over. You are going to want to cry because he's going to rip you to shreds with 80-yard bombs all day with Will Fuller and Hopkins. Nuke. DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah, he will ball. Garyon Conley, if you think you've been getting torched, woo! Oh, my goodness. You are going to have the worst day of your life going up against DeAndre Hopkins. Worst day of your life, bro. So the only way we win that game is if we get to Watson. If Watson can in this pocket, it's over.
If he can maneuver in the pocket and just chill.
Yeah, it'll be game over for us. So realistically, our best shot of winning a game is actually against the Packers because we have the time off. We can get healthy. We can script this game. Aaron Rodgers is still in a new offense. Devontae Adams has got turf toe. He's already ruled out this week. Will he be ruled out the next week? And he's a receiver. Even when he comes back, I know he's going to try to come back early. He can't make the cuts.
Remember when Darren McFadden had turf toe?
It's this, and for a receiver, it's worse. The only thing you're doing is cutting and stopping. He's just. So maybe we get lucky and Devontae Adams isn't playing in that game. That takes a lot away. So we can get one of these games, but I'm saying both are also easy to lose. So you hit it on the head, though. It's going to be defense. Our defense is going to have to step up one of these games.
Yep. Well, with that being said, I mean, that's what we had to cover. We're going into a bye week. We just wanted to really talk about the future and really give the Raiders their props. We had to give them their due props for that.
We got that W. Be happy this week, man. If you're going to tune into some Red Zone, man, sit back, relax, snack a little bit, and just stress-free football tomorrow for you all. And then, have a safe weekend with that, and just, no worries. But pay attention to all of our divisional, foes and see what happens. The Chargers and the Broncos and the Chiefs, I think they're all playing this week.
I think,
and so, watch them and kind of see what it do.
Well, I think next on our itinerary, since we're done with football, I mean, we're kind of chilling this week. Let's talk about what's going on in the NBA. I know we haven't. Curry, Barnes. We're talking about the Kings and the Warriors. We're talking about, I guess, really, you could say this whole video, contenders or pretenders for the Raiders, Kings, and the Warriors. Because we talk about the Kings, they have a young core. Really young core.
Super young.
They have some veterans on there, but even those guys are young too. We talk about Harrison Barnes. You talk about Dwayne Dedmon. What do you want to say about the Kings?
Man, there's a lot. Trying to sum it up here, Fox is going into a 21 years old season. I think that even in the West, he's got to kind of go out there and be an all-star.
Yeah, his development is huge for this team, being the point guard and the ball handler.
I think that he's an elite ball handler. His speed is unreal.
What do you want to see from him?
His mid-range jump shot is looking pretty great. I don't know who he reminds me of, but I was at the last preseason game just a few days ago, and He dunks. He's a dunking point guard, man. I don't know who he reminds me of, but he loves to get up there and smash. So, I mean, he's got the vertical threat. He loves getting to the basket. It's really going to be interesting to see how many threes he takes. I know Luke Walton actually has given them a number of threes they must take a game, which the Kings have never really implemented. So that'll be interesting to see if Fox is really going to distribute to his people to hit these threes, or if he's going to – I think that's what will turn him into an all-star, though. I don't think there's anything else he could really do to show the NBA, like, I'm an all-star, but actually go out there and drain some threes, because he's already really fun, fast, dunks, passes. His assists per game, I think he'll probably be up at 8 or 9 a game. What I need to see from him, though, statistically, I think for us to have a chance, he's going to have 25, 8. 25 and 8. He's going to probably have to average 25 points a game.
You got Harrison Barnes on the team. How's he
No, he's going to need to average 25, and that sounds crazy. But he averaged 16, 17 points a game last year. He's going to have to get to 25.
Right.
He's going to he's going to have to get to 25, because I'm going to let you know right now, Harrison Barnes is not going to be the offensive threat that we didn't bring him to be an offensive threat. We brought him to really man this defense. He needs to pump our kids up to play better defense. And I know that's why he's there, especially with Luke. I don't think Harry's going to be shooting as much as maybe other people think that he's going to be shooting, which is why I think, which is why I think Fox is going to have to let it rip, and he's going to have to be a top scorer for us.
See, I kind of disagree with you there. I really,
are you thinking, how you think Harrison's going to be letting it loose?
I'm not saying that Harrison's going to be like the leading scorer but if he's not giving you 18 points, 18 to 20.
Oh, I don't have Harrison close to 20.
Lord.
No, I think Harrison's probably 13.
Oh, no.
I think Harrison.
What did you pay him all that money
13.87 for the defense.
Dude, nah, man. Especially.
I think that's what he got paid for. And let me also, before you say it, I think we overpaid him. But
of course you did.
I think it was a necessary overpay.
Yeah, right.
Because we just had to fill in that position with a player that has the knowledge to play that position. But by all means, he's not going to give us the statistics to match that money. Oh, no.
I'm not feeling that. If you're not expecting that from Harrison Barnes, and I'm kind of questioning why you got it. Well, especially being a Warriors fan, seeing what Harrison Barnes can and cannot do.
Yeah. No. Well, here's what I'm going to say then. Let me finish with this. So Marvin Bagley, he's the key to everything, because he's going to open up our offense or shut our offense down, essentially, in my opinion. So we need 20 and 10 from him. And that's a lot to ask from a second-year player. But you're going to need 20 and 10 from that monster. Now, the 10 is going to be easy for Marvin. He is boards all day. Boards. He'll get boards. But he's got to have the mid-range jumper. He's got to have that. He's taller than most people that are going to be guarding him. He's got the length. Like, he's got to have the Kevin Durant step back 18-footer that's just automatic. If it's not there, we're going to have issues. The game I went to, he had like 6-7 dunks in that game. He's going to dunk. He's going to have – he might average the most dunks in a game this season. Like, he's going to be up there in the league.
Zion.
He's going to – but he's going to be up there in the league. Zion's going to get the dunks. But he's going to be up there in the league in dunks per game. But it doesn't really matter. He needs to have that 18, 19-foot jump shot. He can hit the corner three occasionally, but he needs to have that.
Okay. So where do you see the Kings shaking out standings-wise?
It's hard. It's hard. I don't know how the records are going to go in the West, because a lot of things changed. I would say the West stayed the same in terms of skill. A lot of people say that it got stronger. I don't think it got stronger. I think it changed.
It just got divvied up across more teams. It did.
So it may have even gotten weaker in terms of the top and the bottom.
Because you're talking about the Pelicans got weaker.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know where they're going to end. I think that they could be as bad as 10th, and I think they could be as good as snagging an 8th seed. But it's just going to all depend. It's going to depend on how many games are the Rockets going to win and lose. It's going to be about wins and losses more than like who you're facing. I think this year is like, in prior years, if you're facing the Warriors, you're like, we have no chance of beating them. Right. Now the Kings could come in and they could get a W against the Warriors. It could happen. If you play a really great game and sound, you could get a W. You could go in Houston. in previous seasons, it was like, I don't know. Now Harden's only getting older. Westbrook, we don't know what that looks like.
We don't know what that combination is.
So I can't say what it's going to feel to go in them. Now you go to New Orleans, they're young. I think their defense is going to be not that great. You could go in and get a W there. Phoenix, you can go in and get a W there. You could go in and get a W against Portland. You know who Portland is.
Right,
Portland's Portland. You could lose. It's going to be a close game.
Denver might be a little bit worse.
Denver. The Kings have beaten Denver before. Mm-hmm. So what it's going to come down to is the Kings winning those games. I think there's going to be a lot of games that come down to the wire this season in the West. Like, I think it's going to be crazy. So, it's going to be, can the Kings win enough of those close games to get them that 8th seed? I bet you the 8th and 9th seed is going to be a half game away at the end of the season. I think it's going to be so close. So, it really just depends on how the rest of the West looks and how the schedule goes. So I think the Kings, it's a question mark in the West right now. But I could say they could get an 8 seed. I could say they could finish as low as 10. It's going to just be it's kind of going to be a rodeo. So toss up, yeah. So toss up. One more thing as we transition to those Warriors. Adding Dedmon and Rashawn Holmes and Trevor Ariza. Ariza's going to be a really cool guy off the bench. Look out for Bogdanovic. He's going to be a huge part of our bench. He was banged up last year with the knee. I think he's fully healthy now. I think he's going to be a great 3-point specialist for us and a ball handler as well. So that's going to be huge. Also, watch out for Corey Joseph on that team. Now you have a real backup point guard, and you still got little Yogi Ferrell that everyone loves out there. And Bogey plays kind of the 1 and 2, depending on how it's going to go. You still got Buddy out there. So it's going to be a fun year for the Kings regardless. It's gonna be fun again, they're going to be scoring a ton. Let's just see what Luke can do with this team.
We live out in Sacramento, so really just to sum it all up, if you're not going to a Kings game this year, you're not really a fan. I think it's going to be another fun year for you.
Yeah, if you're living in Sac, you've got to go to games.
Yeah.
He's not.
I'm even planning on going because the Kings are finally fun again.
Yeah, they're going to be fun. It's going to. You got Fox flying around, you got Bagley flying around. These guys are 19 and 20. Monsters, like you've got, it's gonna be fun.
Shooting the lights out.
It's gonna be a fun season. It's really gonna come down to just details. Mm-hmm. Last 2 minutes of the game, how Luke manages, how the rotation is going to be important too.
And you got to figure that out throughout the course of the season. But yeah, that's something to watch for.
But be happy that Willie's not going to be running around not collecting boards. So you finally got Dedmon.
Oh, look, don't talk about Willie like that. See, this is where I got to talk about the Warriors now.
Let's see what you got to say about
I know Willie's hurt now, but what Willie could bring to the Warriors, you obviously talk about vertical threat. You talk about someone that runs the floor, and you talk about someone that is a great pick and roll partner for someone like D'Lo or Steph Curry, But with that being said, what's really intriguing me is Marquise Chris. Now, I know that he's floated around the league. Kings drafted him, but he ultimately went to the Suns. The Suns were the worst team in the league. And then he went to the Rockets, and they had Clint Capella, so he wasn't really playing. Now you go to a team like the Warriors, and they're kind of like the new standard, kind of like the Spurs. You don't go to the Warriors and just mail it in. Or kind of your career, you really will be toast. No?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You can mail it in.
No, you cannot do that. And so I think that Marquise Chris is a really interesting prospect. He's still really young. He was he was a first-round draft pick not too long ago. So like 2-3 years ago?
Probably 3.
3, yeah. So you're talking about a young guy, runs the floor like a gazelle, gets up, grabs boards, undersized for his position, but that's honestly, if you watch Warriors basketball, that's how they like to run.
That's true.
So, and they love being faster than most teams, and he could really benefit from playing with guys like Steph. And then I have to mention D'Lo, one of the best pick and roll players in the league.
Let me ask you this. You guys got severely worse on defense.
Oh, God, yeah.
So, I mean, I love that. But Marquise Chris, I don't think he's ever going to be a plus defender in the league. He gets bullied. Mm-hmm. And even if you guys play small, I think someone will just play big and be like, cool, we'll give him the pick and roll, but I'm going to go down every time. Someone's going to have to go help him every time. So let me give you an example. Mm. If you got Bagley down there and just bullying Chris, you've got a double. If you've got a guy like, if you got Zion down there, like, oh, man, someone's got to go help him. So my question to you is with this Warriors, because I think you're going to still have offense. I really do still. Even without Clay, I think the offense is going to be fun.
Still popping, yeah.
What are you guys going to do besides Dre? Like, I really, because everyone's always been like Curry tries. Curry's not a great defender, but
Curry's a good team defender.
Yeah, he's a good team defender.
Smart, and he gets the passing lanes.
Absolutely.
Like, right.
So, and now you guys are down your number 2 defender in Clay. So D'Lo's below average.
Yeah, I'm not really looking at him.
Yeah, it's pretty awful. Personally, I want to see, a shooting guard of Clay stature, D'Lo trying to guard someone like that. That's not going to be fun.
No.
So I'm kind of wondering, are you guys going to really just be outscoring everyone? Is that going to be the game plan? Just like there goes the D, except for Dre. There goes the D. Or I have another question. Is Dre going to just be like, hey, I don't care. Let's play positionless basketball. Dre's just going to guard the best player on the other team, and it doesn't matter. Like, even if you've got mismatches on the court.
Let me answer those questions for you because I have a few things to say about that. When you talk about the defense, Draymond is obviously our best defender. Mm-hmm. So when he's on the floor, he's going to be guarding best big or even the best wing.
Okay.
All right. So he's going to have the bulk of that responsibility as usual, as he always has had.
Okay.
But the biggest thing is going to be, what do they do when Draymond is off the floor? That is the biggest question. And what I've been seeing, you talk about outscoring, the Warriors are going to have games where they have to run it up to 140, just like they did against the Wolves in preseason. Steph had 40 on them. Honestly, I know it sounds crazy. You saw Steph in his MVP seasons, both of them. That's what Steph is going to have to do again. And it's not going to shake out like that every night, but they're going to have to be a high-scoring team. And as far as defense goes, when Draymond's not out on the floor, you might see more zone defense.
Okay, yeah.
Zone, because they obviously don't have the men to go man-to-man. So watch out for that. I don't know if it's going to shake out to be pretty, but Steve Kerr's a coach. I expect him to put it together. And so we'll see what that zone looks like.
Man,
hey,
what are you
gonna do with Draymond not on the floor?
I can't wait to actually see some dominant. It's gonna be great to see the Lakers go up against the Warriors because it's gonna be just
ugly.
It's just gonna be ugly on both sides because I don't think not Lonzo.
No,
who's their point guard?
They got Rondo still.
Rondo can't guard Curry. That's never gonna happen. Yeah. And ain't no one on your team ever guarding AD. It's just not going to happen. So that game might go 180-180. No, and also, sure, Dre can guard LeBron. That's who it's going to be. It's going to be Dre against LeBron, and LeBron could not going to go off against Dre.
Right. Because
25,
they know each other.
25,
30 maybe.
Cool.
Yeah.
But AD could go for 60 on that team.
I could expect AD to have.
No one can even, there's nothing to do. AD could just stand under the basket.
Honestly, though, who is going to go?
Looney is going to have to have. Is Looney going to? Willie Cauley-Stein will get punked. So that's going to be a whole nother thing when you start playing. Then what are you going to do when you see the Clippers?
Mm.
Now I know you're like Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes would be kind of helpful to be on your team right now. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? You have no one to guard a duo, Paul George and Kawhi. Drake can only take one, and the other one's going to be of course he's going to take Kawhi, and then Paul George can have bad games. He can. So that's what you're going to bet on in that matchup. I hope Paul George goes 5 for 30 because he has those games. He's just stroking them up and just bricks. But if he doesn't, you lose.
You lose, yeah.
So, you guys are going to have to score a lot.
Dude, I mean...
Look, I have a question. Is there anyone out there that, where's an elite, is there an elite wing out there you guys can sign that has great defense? Thabo Cephalosha back in the day. Not him, because he's older now, but is there a Thabo out there sitting? That's, no offense, Andre, where's Iguodala at? Where did you lost Ego?
I know.
That's why you guys needed Iguodala. Iguodala may have been playing starter minutes finally.
If anybody in the comments can tell me where the Warriors could find like a defensive wing or small
and Andre, basically. Yeah.
Maybe we can get him back
or
if
bigger.
they'll ever releases us, but I don't think so. But yeah, let me know. I'm actually curious as a Warriors fan. Is there anybody out there that they could sign for defense? Please let me know in the comments. But with that all being said, man, we're talking about basketball. We're talking about football. For our teams in Northern California, sports is kind of live right now.
It is live.
Sports is kind of live right now. And, like, you could parlay that even into baseball.
Uh-oh. Let's go, Clayton.
Let's go, Clayton.
Let's go, Clayton.
I think we're
Keep choking.
I think we're
Bro, get out of here.
Hey, yo, chill, man. I think that we're gonna wrap it up on that note because we already know what just happened in baseball. We're gonna see.
And we do have to give credit.
What's up?
Shout out 49ers.
Oh yeah. Before we wrap it up, what are they, like 5-0?
They're 4-0.
4-0.
And they're against Pitt this weekend, trying to go 5-0. We will.
The Niners always make me feel bad.
Yeah, they do. Because Raiders fans, it's hard to talk about it, but we are. This is what Turf Talk does. So, no, you're not going to get anything detailed today because I'm still mad about it.
Yeah.
But next week, we will have a small section with some Niners stuff. So y'all Niners fans,
especially if they win,
and y'all Niners fans can come in here and really give us what it is.
Yeah.
But we had to wait one more week, so y'all can wait one more week.
Because
I want to enjoy my bye week, bro.
That's exactly it too. But we also got to give the Raiders a shine because the Raiders are never popping at a time when the Niners are just horrible. Like whenever the Raiders are starting to get them come up, here come the freaking Niners 4-0.
Yep.
Like, so we just want to give the Raiders their time, but if the Niners come through, they're 5-0. We're covering NorCal sports. Gosh darn it, we got to cover them. So, do you have anything else to add for the people?
Not really. It'll be really awesome to get back next week. We'll probably have a nice little section to be detailed about the Packers-Raiders game. I know everyone's going to be amped up there. So we'll really have some cool news. We'll probably have the news on Gabe. Maybe any other acquisitions. We'll kind of figure out where Zay is going to actually end up, what he's going to be doing that week. And then we'll be right on the edge of NBA starting. So we'll get a little bit more in depth with that. And maybe kind of go over the Western Conference with you guys a little bit and maybe start pegging some slots in and out and what we really think and maybe what y'all think. And then, of course, as promised, some 49ers, but besides that, I don't think we got no one in the playoffs for baseball. So y'all are probably not going to hear about any baseball news until postseason is wrapped up and we get into off season. And off season is going to be very interesting for both. Oakland, the Athletics always keep it fun. Okay.
I will, let me add one thing. This is just one last parting thought. You talk about players signing mega deals. This is talking about the MLB. The Phillies are still in the playoffs, right?
No, they didn't make it.
The Phillies? Are you sure?
They didn't make the playoffs.
No, yes, they did. They've gone as far as they ever. You have to look at that.
No, the Phillies didn't make the playoffs. The Phillies didn't make the playoffs. They got eliminated by Washington. That's what was so funny. Harper got eliminated by his previous team, and Washington got the playoffs.
That's what I meant to say. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of it the wrong way. But Washington Nationals are going as far as they've ever gone
without Harper.
Thank you for.
They eliminated him.
Yes, that's the best part about it. They paid him.
Also, that was funny. I watched that game.
They paid him that much money.
I watched that game.
So that just means Bryce Harper is overpaid and a little bit overrated. So go Nationals. I will say that I'm rooting for the Nationals.
Oh yeah, go Nationals. Win the whole thing. Yeah. Shoot.
That's all I wanted to say. Thank you for correcting me on that.
Yeah.
The Phillies. I'm sorry, man.
That was hilarious.
I'm sorry, bro.
By the way, that Andrew McCutchen injury that actually ruined their entire season. Andrew McCutchen was low-key their MVP leading off. But anyways, I think that'll be it. Next week is going to be litty lit. We'll have a lot of stuff for y'all. And hopefully it'll be a little bit more in depth, because we'll have some game to talk about. But besides that, I think that's going to wrap up episode 3. Contenders or Pretenders. And We'll see you all next week, right?
Turf Talk, baby.
Yeah, we're out.